Hello, I'm John Eldredge, and welcome to the Ransomed Heart audio podcast. For more information on Ransomed Heart Ministries, our resources and events, please visit us online at www.ransomedheart.com.
This is the Ransomed Heart podcast, and this is Craig McConnell welcoming you to this time where Morgan and I just chatting about our recent fishing adventure. Well, what was it? When did we go fishing? You, John, and I.
Last week.
So Morgan, John, and I decide to have a day of connecting, and we go fishing here close by, about an hour out of town. And we drive down. We go fishing. Actually, we've been the last 2 weeks. And boy, has it been a miserable experience.
For the record, I wouldn't say we've been fishing the last 2 weeks. It makes it sound like, oh, we fish all the time. Those will be the 2 days we fish in 2 years.
Okay. Let me say
rare
again.
day fishing. Why don't you?
The 2 days we have fished the last 15 years were this week and last week.
There you go.
There, that's a little truer, right?
Yeah.
So, what is it, Morgan? We go fishing, and the whole time, both days, it just feels like God is thwarting it. I mean, I go to tie my fly on and realize my line hasn't gone through all the eyes on my rod. So I cut the fly to retie it, and then I spill my flies all over the ground. The wind blows them everywhere.
Correct.
You know, then I get the tie fly on. And the line gets stuck in the bushes. I can't cast. I'm sliding down rock. I'm, what did you call it, slugging instead of fishing?
That was my observation of your technique.
God, what a miserable day. And I'm sitting in the water and I'm going, I know there's a way things work. I know that maybe I should be nymphing, fishing below the surface. But I don't like to nymph. I don't want to do that. That's not the fishing I want to do.
Yes.
I want to dry fly fish, period, end of story. But they're not biting on dry flies, and I'm not casting well.
Yeah.
And I don't realize I have a barbless hook on. And I can't see the fly, so the fish have been hitting it 20 times, and I only saw once because I have no idea where the fly is because it's so small. I mean, it was such a frustrating experience. What's that about?
You should have been fishing where John and I were. We had a great day.
Oh, he is full of it. Yeah.
Craig,
Do you have those days where
What's
it just feels like everything is going wrong? You can't try to take in the beauty, and it doesn't look beautiful.
Oh, right.
You're trying to, I just want to enjoy the sound of the river. That usually does it. It doesn't sound that good.
Right.
I mean, the
Right.
whole day was like, I just don't belong here.
yes.
I want to sell my stuff. I'm done with
Oh,
this.
Craig. Well, it was interesting. The first, we fished 2 days, which is a rare thing for us to get away in the midst of the Matrix and all the work. But we snuck out for 2 days over the last month. And the first day, I had a lot of those similar feelings of, man, I'm just so rusty at this. I don't do it more often enough. And why am I working so hard at the fishing when I know the fishing isn't the point?
Yes.
The point is refreshment. The point is pause. The point is the fellowship. The fishing isn't the point. But I was getting pretty frustrated with myself. And, the second day, there were a couple shifts that happened for me. And the first was I realized the fruit of that posture of, well, when you make the fishing the point, and you don't fish a lot, and you're out here, you're not going to be bagging fish, and you end up disappointed. And I recalibrated in some way to say, well, what is the point of being out here? And realizing our mission is intense, we've got a lot going on, and we need this pause. And the goal is joy, and the goal is to receive something from the Father. At least for me, that's where my perspective was. And so the second day I found myself, when I first went down to the water, I just paused and just took a couple deep breaths, and even found myself setting my fishing rod down, and this beaver swam by, and I'm watching this beaver, and it was just fascinating to take in the beauty of this moment that I couldn't arrange for. Couldn't arrange for a beaver to go downstream on the Arkansas, or the geese that came by, and then I heard a sip of a fish rise and just thought, wow, there's something here that I've been fighting against. And instead, God's just saying, tune in to me. There's a way, there's a pace. That verse of walk in step with the Spirit, it just seemed like there's a rhythm or a pace that God is living in, and that mine's completely out of sync. And I found myself fishing differently because of it. A lot less casts and more intentionality and enjoyment with them. And actually, so much so that I caught a couple fish, and I was having so much fun, I thought, I got to go find McConnell. I'm going to go upstream and see how he's doing.
And you realized that wasn't a beaver. That was me.
And then I saw McConnell. I'm up on the road looking down at the river, and he's got his waders around his ankles and his white legs that haven't seen sun, and he's slugging at fish. And oh, man, I just wanted to scream at the fish and say, swim for your life.
Oh, they had that.
He was slugging.
They had left a half an hour before that.
See, in bicycling, we call that mashing instead of spinning. When you mash, you were slugging.
What you're describing is so different than my day. I mean, we split up, the three of us, hit a different part of the river, and I mean, I'm walking down and I'm determined this is going to be a good day. I'm going to catch some fish. I'm going to give it my all. And I was slugging. I was just, my whole attitude was, we're going to catch some fish.
Craig, it's so funny because, I just think it's like saying, I'm really going to get sleep tonight, or I'm really going to have a romantic night with my wife. I was in...
By the way, I'm more successful there than fishing.
I don't know. I've seen you.
Oh.
It's not so good. Oh, the sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
Craig, I'm just aware that I live in a world, and I think most people do, of a make-it-happen world. We live in a culture where we get things done and we can make it happen. And it's very, frankly, rare to be in a circumstance where it doesn't work by getting things done. And I just find, for me, that's often where I feel God's thwarting, and he reminds me that there's something of him that I've been missing that I need to tune into. I think that's why I love archery hunting, because out in the wilderness, you can't control the elk or whether they come in or not. And you feel small in a really important way. You realize there's something larger than you that you must participate and actually be at its mercy. And to some degree, I think that it's kind of a cleansing process for me and a way to repent from living a life that happens under my terms.
Yeah. I think you're right, Morgan. I think people think of me as a type B, kickback, mellow person, but there are places I attack life, try to make something happen that I just simply can't. And for some reason, fishing is one of those, particularly with you guys. I so want to show up, And I guess for all of us, a really good question is, where are we really trying to make life work, arrange, attack? And then is that really how to live? Is that the life you want to live? Is there another way to live?
And so what would it look like then? As we're observing this, you see those places in your life where you're making it happen, you're arranging for it, to try to handle it differently, to pause and to notice that, and then take that to God and ask him what's below the surface.
Right. Bingo. That's it. Thanks for listening, and join us at ransomedheart.com or on our iTunes store for more resources or information.